Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of Season 2 of the Burnley Career Mode. Just wanted to say thank you for all the support in last season, and I'm sorry I took like a 2-day break. Just didn't really have time to release any episodes because of schoolwork, but right now I'm back, and also yesterday was my birthday, and I got this as one of my presents. Not really sure why, but just figured I'd use it, and it holds my phone up. So yeah, here's a little face reveal. Most of you already know what I look like, but before we go into the episode, I just wanted to go through some of the awards and also just show my face for a little bit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Enjoy the episode. And here it is, guys. FIFA decided to award some of our players with Team of the Season cards in their game. As you can see, these are the 3 players I thought that were most important to our success in last season. Ben Mee, our best defender for sure. Joelinton, our top goal scorer and top assister, and Darnell Furlong, who not many people saw him play because he obviously doesn't have a lot of stats to show for it, but he was brilliant this season in his first season. I think he deserves a Team of the Season, probably one of the best right backs in the league. And our young player of the season obviously gave it to Max Mason, but as you can see, we're moving into the squad hub this year. A lot of new young players are in the team. A lot of players are returning from loans, so that means there are going to be a lot of players cleared out this year. I don't really have any room for a lot of the players in this team, but as you can see, this is like a last season recap looking at all the ratings, all the different changes. But as I was saying before, Furlong had a great season this year, jumping up by a bunch of ratings. We had to promote Prince Adeoye because he was complaining about being in the academy, but I'll probably just let him out on loan. Musonda had a great season growth-wise, but I don't know if he really has a place in the future of this team, as he doesn't really contribute much. And our main man, Joelinton, there. And we'll check out the goals as well. 27 goals and 20 assists. 47 goal contributions in 40 games. That's out of this world from Joelinton. Cementing himself in his first season already as probably a Burnley legend. 47 goal contributions, but in the new season, here's how the league table looks as Blackburn Rovers gets promoted, as well as Watford and Bournemouth, all back in the Premier League. And yeah, we're going to be looking to start this season off with a bang, as we are given $76.5 million to spend. I know, crazy money. And speaking about clearing the squad, I'll show you guys the transfer list. A lot of players on it this year compared to last season. We have Kevin Long, Ben Gibson, Ashley Barnes, Will Norris, and a couple of players on the loan list as well. But first transfer target for me, Oliver Burke is great, but his rating is just obviously so far behind the rest of the Premier League strikers, and I feel like he will just simply fall out. And I'd rather him be a good backup striker for us for the meantime. So we went in for him last year. Adam Armstrong, our move went for him, fell apart last season. Can't speak. And he decided to join the Italians at Bologna. And I went in for him as his former club Blackburn came up. Figured I'd bring him into the Premier League so maybe he could play against them. And I offered them Ashley Barnes plus $5 million. They wanted 10. Good thing that they bit on the Ashley Barnes part of the deal because I wanted to offload him, obviously. And we ended up being able to agree around the $9 million for him plus Ashley Barnes. So altogether around like a $16 million or so transfer bid. And yeah, I think it was a great move for us, as Armstrong is going to add something to our attack that we've been missing, raw pace, and hopefully good finishing as well, as Joelinton provides more of a creative striker role. I guess you can't really describe him in words. Joelinton just does everything, but we ended up being able to agree the contract negotiations with Adam Armstrong. We offered him an important role, the 76th rated 24-year-old, formerly of Newcastle, out on loan at clubs like Coventry City and Blackburn, and it seems like he's found a home here at Bologna, but I'd like to persuade him to join back into the Premier League. And yeah, we get the transfer over the line. Adam Armstrong, the English striker, has joined us after some negotiations to bring him in to Turf Moor. I think that's a great signing for us, and I hope it will be something that we look back in the future and say, wow, what a signing that was. Number 21, Adam Armstrong. And yeah, the former Newcastle striker joins us here at Burnley, as we wouldn't be finished with just that. I have $76 million to spend. I'm going to buy a couple players this year, I think, And Anthony Robinson caught my eye, the American for Fulham. Fulham, of course, finishing around mid-table last season. Pretty good season for them, but maybe Anthony Robinson will be willing to take the step up to Europa League football here at Turf Moor. And with the aging Charlie Taylor at left back, who also was, I'd say, probably our second weakest defender behind Tarkowski. This won't be an immediate replacement, but maybe after half a season goes by or just it would be nice to have a decent option, because obviously we brought in Josh Tymon last season, but he just was not very impressive. I feel like Anthony Robinson would be a great backup in the a player for the future, rather, as maybe we even try to push Charlie Taylor into more of a center back role, as he does have the height for it, and he isn't exactly the quickest, and we don't really have the strongest backup center backs. Ben Cabango, of course, is a great center back option. Jimmy Dunn is decent as well. But other than that, I don't know if anyone else is, especially for Europa League football. I don't know how good Cabango is when we're going to need to rotate our team a lot. But we agreed a rotational deal, which is good. I was hoping he wouldn't ask for important, and thankfully he did not. And he was earning $68K at Fulham, so I just wanted to one-up him so he wouldn't reject our offer. So $70K for the American was agreed, and we bring him in to Turf Moor, our second signing of the season. Pretty good, the American, and hopefully this is a transfer, again, that we will look back and say, wow, that was a great decision for us. As you can see, his key assets, his speed, he's very, very quick, good dribbling as well. He's going to be a great attacking fullback. We got a lot of success last season from the youth academy scouts, of course, bringing us in Max Mason, Nicholas Stone, and other players in our academy that aren't yet ready to be brought up. But we'd extend our youth academy to not only just England, but as you'll be able to see, we also started scouting in the Republic of Ireland, and I think we also scouted in either Scotland or Wales. We'll soon see in a couple seconds, but I wanted to keep it English-based as we send him into Wales. And in England, I scouted physically strong players just because I've seen a lot of people say that that's a great thing to scout for. And as you can see, Nicholas Stone, he was supposed to be our wonder kid, went down from 90-plus potential to under 84, which is so upsetting. I mean, he didn't have the greatest of seasons, but I hope that at least he would hold on to his potential. But one season and his potential is poor. But we put him on the loan list, and instantly Torino came out for a loan bid with him, and I'd agreed to let him go on loan to Torino to maybe get him some game time. Maybe he can cement himself in the Italian league, come back as a more finished player. Also loaning out Forest, and I think I went and accepted a bid for Glennon. But as you can see here, you might be able to tell from the title. I don't know if you would be able to predict who it is, but one big player will be let go of this season, and I got two bids for James Tarkowski from two La Liga sides, Atletico Madrid and Real Sociedad. The bid from Atletico Madrid fell apart, but this one from Sociedad, we ended up agreeing a $41 million offer for him. Again, like I was saying last season, there was a lot of shaky moments. You might be able to tell from the gameplay. I did not enjoy using Tarkowski at all. On the ball, he was not great. Tackling-wise, just felt slow and clunky, and unfortunately, I just did not really enjoy using him. So I accepted the $40 million bid in hopes that maybe he could leave and we could sign another player. I know he's a great player in real life, but I'm just not going to force myself to use him. But as you can see, we got some great players from our first academy searches, a $2 million value player from Ireland, as well as a good potential player that we also brought in. And from England, in our first ever scouting report from this season, Nathan Sadler looked great. Harvey Barry as well. Wow, some great players here in the academy already. As we get some additions to our youth academy, as you'll soon be able to see. I'll go check it out for a little bit, check how our players are doing, release and promote a couple as well. As you can see, Nicholas Walsh had a great rating, but he went down to 73 to 79 potential, which was pretty disappointing, and I was debating on releasing him or promoting him, but I decided to promote him just because of dynamic potential, and I feel like one loan spell, get a cheeky little upgrade, and he could have great potential for us. And even if he isn't that great, we can always end up selling him in the future. As Harvey Barry, wow, look at those physical stats. That's what happens when you scout for the strong players, right? Whatever it's called. And yeah, they give us back an absolute unit of a player, as I'd be turning him into a center back. Again, he looks like he'd be much better at center back. 84 physical already. But we go into the first game of today's episode, and the only game of today's episode, as we'd go in against Manchester City. And for some reason, it said that this was Max Mason's debut. I don't understand why it said that, as he played over 20 games for us last season. But first game of the Premier League season, we are known for demolishing Manchester City. But they played a really strong team against us. It seemed like they were committed to not losing this game after being embarrassed so many times against us. But we look to keep our 100% record against them going, as the first chance of the game falls to Adam Armstrong. Some neat dribbling, plays it back into Joelinton, and it's a great save from Ederson. It's a decent shot, not the best. But the next chance of the game would fall in the 20th minute for De Bruyne, and the entire right-hand side is completely open. Darnell Furlong nowhere to be seen, and Raheem Sterling would volley it home. 1-0 for Man City at Turf Moor. Not a great start at all. And Raheem Sterling would take the lead for City, as that would be it for halftime. Not a lot of chances in this game. Joelinton with one more, and Armstrong has an opportunity here, and he misses. And yeah, maybe I forced him into the team a little too early, but without a doubt, I think he'll start scoring those kind of chances in the coming weeks. But that would be it for halftime. We'd be down 1-0, and we'd look to try to bounce back off of this result, as the first chance of the half falls for us a couple minutes after kickoff, as Koulibaly tries to play out of the back. Some strange dribbling and gets just tackled by Joelinton. I don't know what he was doing. And Joelinton speeds away from Cancelo and Koulibaly, and he finishes it home. What a brilliant goal. Well placed, and covers the length of the pitch and slots it into the bottom right corner. What a finish from Joelinton, as he celebrates with all the fans. It's 1-1, and we weren't going to back down in this game that easily. As you can see, it's a great run. Koulibaly, basically gifted us the goal, but he also had to run the entire field and put it in the back of the net. So it was still a pretty good move, in my opinion. But obviously, we've scored much more difficult goals than that. As we go into the last 5 minutes of the game with Bustos down the right-hand side. It's a great play from him as he cuts in. Couple neat dribbles there as they play it back in, and Nick Pope makes a great save. We try to head it away. McGinn can't head it away. Rodri turns his man. And Ndidi, can he find the player? He turns his man well, and Ben Mee keeps on De Bruyne onside. And De Bruyne, in the last couple minutes of the game, seems to have grabbed the winner. Yep, in the 90th minute, we conceded. It's a tough goal to concede, as we were looking like we were going to get a point against Manchester City, a strong side. And unfortunately, we were not going to grab the point. Yeah, it's just a great finish from De Bruyne. What can you do? And that's his first goal in this Premier League season. And that's how this game would finish. We would lose to Manchester City. A tough result to take, but something we're going to have to look to move on from, as Pep Guardiola finally outclasses us. But as you can see, right after that game, James Tarkowski has left the club. Thank you for your service. He's been a pretty decent center back, just not my favorite, as well as I would look to move on Robbie Brady and loan out Ollie Coles. But Tarkowski, a great servant of the club, would leave. And with that, we need to bring in a new center back. And I thought Eric Dyer would be the ideal player to bring in. 1 year younger than Tarkowski, or maybe 2. Pretty much the same kind of player, a physically strong player. I think Dyer is probably a lot stronger, but Dyer also has that experience of playing Champions League football, playing high league football with Spurs, qualifying for the Champions League pretty much every season, leaving for Inter last season, but I wanted to bring him back into Burnley, as we had just gotten rid of one of the better center backs in the Premier League. I think this is a justified transfer, as Eric Dyer joining basically Premier League reject 11 in Inter. I don't know if he'd get a lot of game time behind Skriniar and De Vrij, probably either squad rotational player, or if not a starter, but probably not loved by the fans as much as he'd be loved in England. And I figured I'd try to bring him back to Turf Moor, as obviously we have $70 million to spend, also selling a big player. We were bound to make a big transfer like this. Eric Dyer, 27 years old, couple of years left in his prime. Hopefully we can bring him to new heights here at Turf Moor, but this is a massive signing for us. Definitely our biggest of this career mode, the most expensive by far as well. And we'd agree a very expensive contract. Just wanted to basically meet what he had at Inter. Gave him 10K less, and that would indeed do it, as Eric Dyer takes the number 5 jersey. And he's not only a center back, but comes with a lot of other pluses. You know, he's very, very strong, also has the midfield experience, has good aggression. And with that, and we'd move into the goal of last season. As you could see, John McGinn's strike against Wolves, I think, was our best goal last season. Just a brilliant strike. I think if Max Mason were to hit his long shot, and I think you guys know that one long shot that hit the post, that would have for sure been goal of the season. But just thinking through the options, this strike was incredible. As I would say, you could see the subtitles, the most top corner you could possibly hit. I think that was our best goal last season, and McGinn will take that for the season. John McGinn, goal of the season holder. And that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I know it's a pretty short one. Next episode is going to be more transfer business and more games to be played. But again, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I also hope you had a great day. And stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you, guys. And yeah, have a good one.